Vive le Christ roi!
Lessons from the Vendée for today's resistance. During the French Revolution, the Church faced a ruthless assault. In 1790, the civil constitution of the clergy forced priests into a schismatic allegiance, splitting them into jurors who swore fidelity to the state and refractory priests who remained faithful to Rome. The latter were persecuted, exiled, and often executed. This period witnessed the rise of a clandestine Church of the Catacombs, where faithful priests and laity risked their lives to preserve the true faith amidst a hostile environment. Today, we find ourselves in a similarly dire situation within the Society of St. Pius X. The doctrinal compromises of recent SSPX leadership echo the betrayal of the jurors during the French Revolution. The 2012 Doctrinal Declaration, which sought to align the SSPX with modernist Rome, represents a grave departure from Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre's steadfast opposition to the errors and heresies of Vatican II. As Lefebvre himself stated, "We have to build while the others are demolishing. The crux of the problem is maintaining the Catholic faith. That is what interests us. That is what binds us together. That is what makes us strong." Just as the priests of the Vendée resisted the schism imposed by the revolutionary government, so too must we resist the doctrinal errors and compromises that threaten to undermine the SSPX's mission. There is a so-called fake resistance which claims to uphold traditional values while engaging in compromises. This mirrors the duplicity of the revolutionary jurors. Their attempts to reconcile with modernist principles and their failure to uphold the unchanging truths of the Catholic faith betray the very spirit of true resistance. In light of these betrayals, the faithful are called to persevere in the spirit of the Vendée martyrs. As those heroic souls defended their faith against overwhelming odds, so must we remain vigilant and unyielding in our defense of the Catholic tradition. We must reject false resistance and continue to uphold the true teachings of the Church, preserving the legacy of Archbishop Lefebvre and the unadulterated faith of our forebears. Echoes of the Faith, the Vendée Martyrs. Many priests who remained true to Rome were exiled or forced into hiding, clandestinely ministering to their flock. Thus emerged the Church of the Catacombs, where Mass was celebrated and sacraments administered in barns, basements, castle moats, and the woods. The faithful, alongside their priests, understood the peril of the situation, yet they chose death over the denial of Christ and His Holy Church. As the Republic advanced with relentless fury, it sought to eradicate any vestige of Christianity from French society. The God of Reason was enthroned in the Cathedral of Paris, and Christian names were systematically replaced with secular designations. Religious education was outlawed, and the Julian calendar was supplanted with a Republican one, eliminating the 7-day week and displacing Sunday as the Lord's Day. Days of the week were stripped of any reference to saints, instead named after animals, plants, and tools of labor. Religious feast days were supplanted by Republican celebrations, while churches were desecrated and bell towers removed. Just like our time. In September of 1792, the systematic massacre of priests commenced. With citizens incentivized to betray them, a bounty was offered for the denouncement of clergy. In response to this tyranny, movements sprang forth across France, including the Vendée, rising as a new crusade to defend the rights of God. Inspired by their faith and love for Christ the King, leaders such as Maurice d'Elbée, Jean-Nicolas Stoufflet, Jacques Catalino, François de Charette, and Louis Marie rallied the faithful of the Vendée to rise against tyranny. One venerable Vendéan recalled, "Despite our outrage, we did nothing as long as they left us with our priests and churches. But upon witnessing their evils against God, we rose to defend him." The faith was deeply rooted among the Vendéans, particularly following the Montfortian missions, which instilled in their hearts a profound love for the cross, the Blessed Sacrament, and the Rosary. When the revolution unleashed its hatred towards Christ upon society and the church, the people bravely rose to defend their beloved faith, even at the cost of martyrdom. Faced with Republican cannons, these noble souls had only their staffs. Against gunfire, they wielded sickles. Lacking military uniforms, they were united by a singular emblem, the Sacred Heart embroidered in red on their chests and the initials of Jesus Christ, the King, adorning their caps. The Republican army, driven by hellish rage, descended upon the Vendée. The orders from Paris were clear: exterminate the Vendée and transform it into a vast cemetery, serving as a grim warning to all of France. A staggering 300,000 men, women, and children fell victim to this reign of terror. With hearts of charity, the Vendéans charged into battle, offering themselves as living sacrifices. Some donned their finest attire, as if for a wedding, confident that beyond death the heart of Jesus would be their only homeland. The plight of the Vendée during the French Revolution serves as a poignant reminder of the need for unwavering fidelity to Christ and his church amidst adversity. The compromises and doctrinal deviations within the SSPX today parallel the historical schism of the jurors, and the fake resistance that engages in half measures and compromises cannot be allowed to dilute the true Catholic faith. The faithful must follow the example of the Vendéan martyrs, holding fast to the unchanging truths of the Church and rejecting any attempts to reconcile with modernist errors. In this battle for the purity of the faith, the pearl of great price, let us move forward with courage and conviction, ever vigilant and steadfast in our resistance against the tide of modernism.
Debout les gars sonnent le tocsin, que tournent les ailes des moulins. Les seigneurs et les paysans, sus à l'ennemi aux armes, sus à l'ennemi aux armes. C'est nous les brigands, les Vendéens, les brigands du roi. Du côté roi Louis, ohé, du côté roi Louis, ohé. Cavaliers, les sabres pointés, paysans, la fourche en avant. Par Saint-Michel, les gars foncés, votre cœur à Marie, mes enfants, votre cœur à Marie, mes enfants. C'est nous les brigands, les Vendéens, les brigands du roi. Du côté roi Louis, ohé, du côté roi Louis, ohé. Pour Dieu le roi et la victoire, sus à l'ennemi, c'est la ligne. Oh, crux spes unica, allons les gars, allons boire, allons les gars, allons boire.